The prospect of Manchester United signing Jadon Sancho during the transfer window, but isn't it amazing how turbulent life is in the football industry? One day a player is heralded as the next big thing on the planet, and the very next day, the same player is considered a failure, and all of us simply write off the poor soul based on one performance. We're fickle that way, and perhaps that's the beauty of this game. Does that make sense? So, we did say that Manchester United seem likely to conclude a major transfer coup by bringing Jadon Sancho to Old Trafford this summer. Indeed, Solskjaer has been chasing the young winger for quite a while. After other potential suitors dropped out of the race, the Red Devils had the whole canvas for themselves to work on. However, as it turns out, Sancho might not be leaving Signal Iduna Park anytime soon. Borussia Dortmund Supremo Michael Zorc has already stated that Sancho will remain with the club for next season and even left Germany with the rest of his teammates for pre-season duty. Rumours seem to suggest that BVB gave United a deadline to finalise the transfer, which passed and as a consequence gave the Germans enough courage to come out in the open and make bold claims about their star player's future. It's also been said that United are balking at the club's valuation of the player. The Germans are not going to entertain any offer that doesn't start with 120 million euros. So, let's take a look at a few of the reasons why Sancho might not be joining the Premier League giants this summer. Long-drawn negotiations. Ever since Ed Woodward replaced David Gill, it's become quite a task for the club to conclude deals for targets. Manchester United have struggled to quickly sign players in the last couple of seasons. Harry Maguire was the club's long-term target, but the Red Devils continued playing the waiting game. They only acted swiftly once Manchester City started showing genuine interest in the England international. The former Leicester man arrived at Carrington at a time when the team was midway through their pre-season camp. Similarly, the transfer of Aaron Wan-Bissaka was also concluded after extensive bargaining. And the less we say about the whole Bruno Fernandes affair, the better. But wait, hold on. Why should we not talk about it? The Portugal international could have been signed last summer, but the Red Devils ended their interest. Why would they do that? Well, apparently, some of the members of the coaching team stated that the midfielder takes too many risks. As fate would have it, the Red Devils came calling for the player again during the January transfer window. It still took Woodward almost a month to wrap up the deal when he could have sorted everything out within a week. And it appears that the United Supremo hasn't learned his lesson and is again procrastinating on the deal. This time, however, the club might not get a second bite, given the fact that other clubs are monitoring the situation and they're waiting to make their move if a window of opportunity opens up. Sancho is a huge star in the making, and just because United were unable to secure his services quickly doesn't mean that other teams would show such poor negotiation skills. What makes everything even more surprising is the fact that Ed Woodward is not eager to pay the quoted price for a player who's already playing at a higher level and is still 7 or 8 years away from the peak years of his career. But the fact that Woodward wants to throw in add-ons and unreasonable stipulations means that Dortmund might not have any other option but to shut their door. And speaking of the Germans, it's clear that the club isn't in a position to find a replacement if Sancho leaves. While this may not be the main priority, Dortmund would need to find a good replacement for the Englishman. This is perhaps why they've decided not to give Manchester United a COVID discount. Yes, this is the term that's been thrown out quite a lot this month. Another reason why Sancho might not be going to Old Trafford might be that the club is still in transition. Even though they've qualified for the Champions League and have started putting more consistency in their displays, this is far from the team that Sir Alex Ferguson left all those years ago. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done very well, but the jury would still be out on the Norwegian tactician if he didn't win anything of note. What if things don't work out and the former striker receives his marching orders? Another new manager would come in with a new philosophy which may or may not work, especially for the younger players. At his age, Sancho needs stability to continue improving. Would he get that at Manchester United? Maybe or maybe not. At Dortmund, Sancho is an integral part of the squad and he knows exactly which direction the club is pulling at. The arrival of Jude Bellingham, Erling Haaland and the rapid rise of Gio Reyna seems to suggest that in the coming years, Dortmund might become quite a force to be reckoned with again. Indeed, the residents of Signal Iduna Park are quietly going about their business, making shrewd acquisitions and keeping the academy structure intact. Dortmund is a project that's enticing for young players. Bellingham's profile was also of great interest to Manchester United. However, the young midfielder decided to leave Birmingham for Dortmund because that is where he would have a better chance of continuing his development far away from the hawkish glances of the English press. Indeed, everything Sancho does in the Premier League would be dissected, and many analysts and reporters would be jumping at the chance of criticising him. A hefty price tag doesn't help either, so perhaps staying put in Germany for at least one more season wouldn't be such a bad thing. While this is all speculation, it's also evidence that every club is bearing with the after effects of the global pandemic. Ed Woodward has already stated that the current transfer window should not be treated as business as usual. In simple terms, Manchester United will not be paying over the odds for any player. The club might not be in a position to make big-name signings, and the owners might not want to take such a risk either. It could also be that the Red Devils are just biding their time and seeing how strong Dortmund's resolve is. From what we've seen so far, the Germans seem fairly confident of holding on to their prized asset and would only listen to offers if they meet their valuation. They're not in a rush to sell, nor do they have the need to. Manchester United, on the other hand, don't really have a lot of bargaining chips apart from a rumoured agreement with the player. The Red Devils are in a much more desperate situation than Dortmund in the sense that they need to continue their rebuild. After finishing third in the league, the club would want to build on that success, and part of the process includes signing a player of Sancho's calibre. Dortmund are in a good place, have guaranteed Champions League football, are in a decent financial position, and are not dealing with a player who will create an issue just because his employers are playing hard ball. Sancho also knows that eventually he will leave Dortmund, but when he does, he would like to do this with the club's blessing, and that doesn't seem to be a problem for the winger. In fact, Sancho seems pretty happy with how things are and has not given the slightest indication of a player who's disgruntled. So the onus is on Manchester United to get things sorted out from their end and start making concrete attempts in bringing the winger to Old Trafford. If a transfer doesn't materialise, there would only be one loser here, and that wouldn't be Borussia Dortmund or Jadon Sancho. So hey, want to know how we never miss a match? With Fubo TV, you can stream any game, anytime, anywhere. Use our link in the description to start for free and watch your favourite teams live.